That's it. All right. We'll get started here in just a second. People are trickling in.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right, cool.
Nice full house.
Yeah, full house.
Love it.
That's right. I'm gonna have to get a bigger computer screen to host everyone on the panel. All right, there we go. Okay, welcome to the FunnelFlow Mastermind. I am Caleb Christensen. How's everyone this morning?
Very good. Very good, sir.
Megan's having an amazing morning with the kid, going to doctor's appointment. That's exciting. We have a few new faces today. We have Jason Fitzgerald Smith dialing in from Carlsbad, California. Morning, Jason.
Good morning. Hi there, everyone.
Hello,
Introduce
welcome.
yourself. Tell us what you do briefly.
Thank you, Caleb. My name is Jason Fitzgerald Smith. I've been in the hospice business, Medicare hospice business for the past 25 years, and recently got married and relocated to Carlsbad, which is completely out of the geographical area in which I have served for 25 years. So the business down here in San Diego County is just completely different, and I've kind of stepped back. So I'm an entry-level salesperson in this industry, and the hopes is to launch this into something bigger as far as being an advocate for hospice and generating just a huge amount of leads and being able to serve a lot more people eventually. So
Very good.
Give us your 20-second. Give us your 20-second why you're passionate about getting the message about hospice, how it's an underutilized benefit.
Fair enough. So in 25 years, the median length of stay has gone from 45 days to 47 days. The industry has seen an influx in hospice providers by about life and living, and it's for a minimum of 180 days or 6 months, and the average person is receiving services for about 2.5 weeks. And so it's an underutilized service, and most families, and I've been in front of thousands of them presenting this benefit, tell me that they wish they'd known about this sooner. And so that's my mission, that's my passion, is to ensure that I'm meeting people where they are. Families know about this sooner, instead of in the 11th hour when they're shocked or from a doctor hearing of a terminal illness. They can't really grab or wrap their minds around what it is they're being told, and they don't want it because they associate it with death, and they can't but help associate it with death when the average person is dying 2.5 weeks, after they're on these services.
Wow.
Well, Jason, you and I have lots to talk about, because my son was in hospice for 10 days, and in Canada, it's a quite different process. So we're aware of it, and it's added into the programs, but it's a wonderful service. And so I'd work with you on just educating. I'm a financial advisor for 40 years as well. So estate planning, all that good stuff would tie in beautifully with it.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And I'm sorry for the loss of your son. And
that's been 5 years, and yesterday was birthday. So this morning I had my cry.
Celebrate his life.
I live full out because of that, but I hope I'll be quieter this morning. Thank you.
I don't think that's possible, Sandra.
we're with you, Coach Sandra. We're right here.
Yeah. My wife's beloved grandma, 93 years, passed away last night, and she was on hospice for a while, and she was very well taken care of, and it was kind of a beautiful exit. So I think there's a lot of families that are hurting that could receive a lot better care, And being a nurse for 11 years, seeing a lot of tragic exits in the ICU, that probably didn't need to be that way. And so we're glad you're here, Jason, and that we can help take your message, put that into a marketing system that can actually get that out to your ideal clients. Those are families like Sandra who, have loved ones that are unwell that could just receive that better care instead of the tragic exit. And so we're just glad you're here, and it's a pleasure.
Thank
So,
you.
I just want to add as well that the volunteers, there's such a long volunteer list where my son was, that all the volunteers can't even get in, but the volunteers are trained also for counseling, for the people that are there, not for the patient itself. So it's a wonderful system. Anyhow, I'll go back to being quiet.
no, Leah, introduce yourself to the group. This is your first time here, I believe.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that, Jason. That's a way to start the morning for sure. And hi, Andres. Good to see you.
Andres.
And thanks for having me, Caleb. This is exciting. So I give people the skills that they need to have amazing personal and professional relationships. And some of my background is actually in addictions and mental health, working with youth. And
Nice.
the piece for me that I see as absolutely critical right now is working on this stuff proactively. So talking about, healthcare that's maybe not fully meeting people's needs, is our mental health care system is this very reactive thing of when people think you're doing fine, you're fine, and then suddenly you're not doing fine and you get all this support. And relationships are one of the cornerstones of us being mentally healthy. And that's in all levels. That's your personal relationships, that's your relationships at work. And there's skills that you can learn no matter where your relationship's at to make them healthier, stronger, give you that boost.
Awesome.
Wow, that's great. And Leah is such an amazing orator and speaker because she has had a podcast for how long, Leah?
Coming up on a year. No, over a year. Coming up on a year and a half.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So drop your Instagram. Everyone who's new here, just drop your Instagrams in here so we can follow you guys and
Yes.
just come into your world. But I was on Leah's podcast, and she does an amazing job. She has a whole process. So if you want to learn a thing or two on publishing and how to do it with consistency and excellency, Leah, you should be a podcast coach because you're doing it and doing it well. So welcome, Leah. And I don't want to say I was the best episode ever, but it was worth a listen.
You were really good.
Awesome.
It was great.
I don't know. After I did it, I'm like, man, I need to work on my pitch because I'm very raw and unedited, and I say and ah a lot, and I'm trying to work on my communication skills. So it was a good reminder. I have a long way to go.
Well, so we know each other through Bert, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that I like that Bert says, and I think this is something for all speakers, is like the very traditional way of speaking is the, oh my God, what's the group? Toastmasters, right? And Toastmasters will make you practice your speech until there's no ums, there's no uhs, you flow perfectly. And what people are starting to see about speaking, what he recommends, which I fully agree with, is it's more about, are you sharing a story or something that impacts people, and then kind of the why behind it, like, why did I share that story with you, right? So, Sandra sharing her story about her son and then saying, and this is why this is important, or you sharing stories like you did about small businesses and saying, this is why, funnels are so critical to your business. That's powerful speaking because it's the heart of what you do and it's sharing valuable things versus sitting there going, I said 3 ums and an ah, and now no one notices. No one notices when you said an and an ah and I pause. They care about what your message was. So I respectfully disagree that your speech.
And I respectfully come in the middle of it because I am an old Toastmaster of 30 years.
And debate.
And debate. But when there's just too much, like our Prime Minister Trudeau, oh man,
Yeah.
he does so much on that it's distracting. So somewhere in the middle of that, you start to listen to yourself and just reduce them a bit. But I don't worry about the odd ones here and there. I still do a lot of so this.
That's a good point. Yes, if your whole speech is every third word and it's distracting.
Yes, that's all.
Yeah, good point.
Authentic
I did
matters.
I did Toastmasters for like 3 or 4 months before my work schedule changed. And there was every speech, there was a guy with a clicker. And you just hear the click, click, click every time there's an or an ah. And I think it gave me PTSD, like, because I silently hear that clicker as I'm
Really?
giving a little talk. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh no, we're just there counting them down. Then we report back. Well, you had 30 of them.
He
Then they
clicked
start to hear them.
Scary.
like a negative feedback loop. Anyway,
Oh, yeah, we have fun.
all right. Chuck, good to see you. How are you here? How are you today, sir?
Do well. Morning, everyone.
Morning, Chuck.
Okay, Chuck, we're going to put you on the spot. Chuck, tell us the story why you're passionate about SEO as the vehicle to help businesses grow.
So our focus is service-based industries. Your concrete, blue collar, and a lot of these individuals that start a business, they can do their craft, but the rest of it, the accounting, the marketing, the bookkeeping, they really can't get that dialed in. So my dad had a couple of different small businesses and he did not succeed for various reasons. So I feel that if I can come in and help these individuals with their marketing, get seen by people that are actively looking for their service, then they can go out there and promote themselves so they don't have to do that. So, excuse me, that's why I feel passionate about SEO and helping small businesses, because the search engines, they're just an open book test. You want to know which website they like, you just type it into the search engine and they're going to give you those top results. You model that, do a little better, and then give the searchers or the people that are looking for the products what they want. And then, you give that to the business owner and they can take it from there. Whether they sell it or not, that's not up to me. My job is to deliver the people looking for their service.
So your dad, that's beautiful. I didn't know that, Chuck.
Well, as I get to thinking about things, little tidbits come out. Sometimes I push down my feelings and, what happened in my past, and it comes bubbling up. Some of it's good, some of it's bad.
Well, we all have baggage, right? So I think what Leah's saying is important, that connecting with the emotion of why we do what we do, how we do what we do, our process, how we discovered our strategy, our framework, that's what people connect with. And that's powerful, right? And it makes, and if people connect with your story, it takes you out of the commodity. It takes you out of the features and benefits, and they're connecting to you, the individual. Russell Brunson talks about the attractive character, right? And connecting to your ideal clients through stories and selling through stories, right? Because that's where people get that emotional connection. Now you have to follow it up with the features and the benefits and the logic of it, but that hook and that kind of initial buy-in, leading with the story is powerful. Andreas, why?
Absolutely.
Andreas, why are you passionate about helping gym owners grow their business with reviews?
Well, I started working at gyms in the Air Force, and I was just servicing other military men and women and helping them out. Then I got into business and sales, and I learned about marketing, and I love computers. And so technology, marketing, sales, I stumbled upon a software that helped with reviews. And to me, reviews became word of mouth, digital. And I love word of mouth. Promoting other companies, connecting people to other people. I love that. And so this becomes the vehicle that I use to help gym owners use word of mouth digitally. And that's why I love reviews. I love marketing, I love sales, but it all rolls into reviews for me. So that's the lane I choose to run in.
Steve, what are your thoughts on Andreas's?
My thoughts are Andreas is a man of his word. He loves to support. He backs it up with action. He says a lot. Okay. He does that talking, that jibber jabber, but he backs it up with his actions. Case in point. I just opened up my Shopify store last week for officially. I'll announce it to you if you like, but Andres jumped in there in our Avengers Dream Team chat, and he said, "Hey, let's support Steve." And bam, next thing I know, I have an order, my very first order, and boom, there you go, man of his word. So getting
And
that.
also his first pain in the butt, right? Ticket, baby, come on.
we need one of those all the time though.
Yeah.
Something you said in your little, that's cool, Steve. And Andreas, he is a man of his word. We love him. Okay. The digital word of mouth, that's a good hook right there. I've honestly never heard that. And so everyone knows intellectually that word of mouth is the best form of marketing. And
Agreed.
reminding gym owners that this is a digital form of word of mouth, that's super powerful. So this wasn't scripted, how we started talking about selling with stories and creating that emotional connection, but it really ties into what I want to share with you today about creating your marketing engine using the MVM flywheel. And you've heard me talk about it a lot, but I've actually completed my resource. It's actually I don't know how many pages it is. It's over 20 pages, complete workbook that actually leads you through the whole process, fill in the blank, to actually map out your MVM flywheel, your minimum viable marketing flywheel. It is the engine, simple, concise marketing engine for your product, service, or message to your ideal client. And so I'm going to give this to you guys today. Your homework this week, if you choose to accept it, is just go through it. Even if you've been through this type of process before, just go through it. Because selfishly, I want feedback, right? If we need to edit some things, if some things are unclear, because I'm about to spend a lot of money in ads trying to share it with the world. But it gives you a map and a guide on how you can take those stories, publish them, get them out to the world where people can connect with you, whether that's an ad, a podcast, a newsletter, something that is just getting your message out to the world so people can connect with your story, right? And we're publishing so people can connect with our story. Maybe we're hosting live workshops like we were talking about yesterday, Jason, or virtual workshops or virtual seminars or webinars. Like, we are publishing to let people connect with our story. Like, that's really the important part, our why, our framework, our strategy, sharing with them how we can help them. But we have to publish to get that message out there. Leah's been doing it for over a year with her podcast. And I imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, you're probably just starting to feel momentum, right? Where people are starting to be attracted to you, your listen and viewership rates are increasing, right? It takes time, right?
Yeah, it's the same as any other marketing. It's building trust. It's like really starting that relationship and having people trust you. And no matter how good your pitch is and how good, word of mouth digitally sounds, people are like, ooh, that's cool. That doesn't mean instantly they're gonna, buy from you or support you. They still need that time to develop a relationship.
Right. And so we got to publish to get people to connect with your story. And then what do you do with it? Okay. People have connected with your story. That's great. Warm fuzzies. But now we need to capture their information so that you can lead them down a nurture process and actually offer them your service. And if they're not ready, that's okay. They're going to go around your flywheel again because you're going to be publishing again. They're going to reconnect with you. They're going to open your email. They're going to get your text message. You're going to follow up with them personally. Like, whether it's offline or online, the MVM flywheel it applies. All right. So you can layer different tactics to, tricks and tips, and you can do different things, whether you're publishing on TikTok or you're publishing on stone tablets and handing them around the camp. The principle remains: you're getting your message out there, you're capturing people's information, and then you are going to nurture and follow up with them. And then you're just going to lather, rinse, repeat. Okay. And it's a flywheel, because as it spins and spins faster, more energy is generated from that flywheel in the terms of leads. I'm not sales opportunities. Okay. So let me screen share, and then I'll give you guys, get your grubby little fingers on the link and you can download it.
All right.
Yeah.
Give it to us. Come on.
I hear Rick James. Give it to me, baby.
Give it to me, baby.
Give it to me, baby.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's so funny.
You were thinking,
You said that.
give it to me, baby. Okay, look how pretty it is.
Look at that.
It's in MAGA red. So
Wow.
yeah.
Flower.
Yeah, the MVM workbook.
It looks like a theme park, bro. It looks like the MVM theme park. I love it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that could be
pretty-
quite a maze.
yeah.
Yeah, look at that layout.
Jason got the first print version of it yesterday when he was in the office. So I bet you didn't know you got a first edition, Jason. So put that in your safe.
I did not. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, hand printed. Okay. So, all right. So this is Nitish, my designer. We all know and love him. He
Yes,
took my
Nitish.
concept and just made it look like this beautiful merry-go-round of marketing pain. All right. So you have your dream client here, publish, capture, nurture, right? And it spins and spins and spins and generates revenue. Okay. So I call the minimum viable marketing, it's the last marketing strategy you will ever need. If applied correctly, it will dramatically accelerate your business's growth with ongoing leads and sales in your business month after month. The goal of marketing is simply to get your ideal client to understand how you can help them and then compel them to take a desired action. The MVM flywheel is the simplest method to achieve this goal. You don't need complicated, expensive, bulleted marketing. You just need a simple, lean system that will deliver you a never-ending stream of leads ready to act and buy. Scott, would you love a never-ending stream of leads ready to act and buy?
Not only would I love it, I must have it.
Okay, all right. So what does the flywheel consist of? The MVM flywheel has three important components: publish, capture, and nurture. And all these components rely on one major thing: your dream client. Okay. So I actually snagged the URL minimumviable.marketing. I didn't know you could have a .marketing URL. So pretty excited about that. And then this link is not live yet, but that will be a little training link. But if you've been on this mastermind, you've heard the pitch. It just kind of explains how the flywheel works and how it's all connected. Okay. So I'm not going to go through this page by page, 23 pages. We don't have time for that today. And Chuck has a very short attention span. So just want you to go through it and just fill it out. Okay. But basically high level, we go through dream client. And oh, this is the wrong one. Crap. This is my edited version. All right. I got to get you the right link. But okay. So we're going to have links to our top competitors. What makes you stand out, and specific skills that make you successful. Okay, we're going to create our ideal client avatar. What are their pain points? What are their desires? What does their life look like after you've helped solve their problem? Now you're going to go into their demographics and income range, relationship status, and all that stuff. Okay, we're going to talk about what results you deliver. What's the offer? What does their life look like after they have bought your offer or engaged with your service? You know, so if it's not so much an offer like yours, Jason, but they've just working with your hospice or something like that, what does their life look like? And then what's your secondary offer? So if you are more of a service provider, usually, like for me, people come to me, they have me build them a funnel. So that's an upfront cost. and then they need maintenance, they need follow-up, they want to grow it. So that's kind of like a secondary maintenance offer, right? So maybe they've been through your initial course or program. Well, what's the next thing, right? Because you don't want to just sell them and then not serve them long term, right? So thinking through like what's the next step, okay? We take all that stuff and we go through your business's $1 million positioning statement. Okay, so you take the answers that you filled in the blank, you identified, and then you pick the best ones, and then you're going to fill in the blank here. And then what you have is just a very clean couple paragraphs where you can communicate. You can do this through publishing when you're actually presenting your offer, what you do, who you do it for, and why they need your service. Okay. All right. Once again, this is my my notes version as I was making edits on it, but oh geez. Okay, so then you're going to go through and you're going to pick, okay, what's the lead magnet you're going to use? How are you going to capture people's information? So, hey, I want to share with you about this unknown, underutilized benefit, hospice benefit. It's not just about dying, it's about comfort. I want to tell you about how it's completely underutilized and it's available for families and patients. Okay, so register for my free webinar. I'm going to teach you about it. Okay, so like what bit of value are you going to give in exchange for your client's customer information? Okay, so that you can follow up with them, right? Now, it's not good if they just connect with your story and then they go off into the ether, right? How many times have you watched a little tearjerker Instagram reel and then you just kept rolling, right? But there's no call to action. It's just content. It's just one of 20 YouTube videos you watched that day as you were bored at home, killing time, and you connected with it. Maybe you liked it, maybe you found it interesting, but there was no like call to action or next steps, and then you completely forgot about them, right? It's not because it was an ineffective message or it wasn't valuable to you. They didn't capture your information, right? There wasn't a clear path. So as you publish, giving your clients, your prospects who are connecting with you on your content or ads, a clear call to action. Hey, download my little resource list of my whatever. Okay, so it doesn't have to be complicated. Just giving those call to actions all the time to grab your resource. Okay.
Yep.
All right. A quick story. All right, so we have a content planner, right? And then it goes and goes and goes. So super valuable. Okay.
Nice.
And then you'll see in my lead magnet there is a call to action to join a workshop where we're actually going to build a lead magnet together. Okay. And I'll be charging $7 for that. And really the purpose for that is I'll be running ads to this resource. And then I want people to buy that little workshop. Okay, they can actually hear how I can help them and they get a quick result and then join the mastermind. I'll make an offer. So since you guys are here, if you want to take advantage of that, no charge, right? Just show up. But that's kind of the wizard behind the curtain, what I'm working on. So
Nice.
Quick story about the MVM flywheel, how it's truly a timeless principle. I went to a business conference, actually where I met Jason last week. And it was a great talk. And I wanted to network with people. I wanted to get people's contact information. And some people, if I'm talking to them, it's appropriate. Hey, give me your contact information. But if you're in a networking thing and you're rapid fire talking to people, like it feels a little salesy. Just say, hey, give me the deets, right? And so I'm always thinking in terms of lead magnets, right? That's just how I operate. And so I very quickly, the guy starts talking. I pull out my phone, I hit record, because I know they're recording it, but every time you go to one of those conferences, they like end up charging you for the videos, or they don't release it forever, or I don't know what that noise was. Okay, so So I recorded on my phone, and my pitch goes like this. Hey, so I meet someone and say, hey, I recorded that talk. Would you like a copy of the recording and the notes? I'm going to have my assistant take notes and the bullet points. And because it was such an amazing talk, everyone was like, oh yeah, that'd be great. I said, oh, what's your best email? I'll send it over to you. Okay. And so I got a whole bunch of emails. I got an email from one of the head pastors of this group, and he's probably in charge. His influence probably covers 20,000 plus people. All right. And I have his email and permission to email him. Now, does he need marketing services? I don't know. Probably not, but he probably knows people that do. So if I can provide a little bit of value to him and get him on my list, and he can start to understand, learn about me, who knows what that could turn into. And so I just, I'm publishing in a sense. I'm saying, hey, I have something that can help you. I captured their information. Hey, give me your email. I'll send it over to you. And now I'm going to actually follow up and send it out to them. And then just start to build relationships that way. So anyway, let's, yeah. Let me find the actual link.
I think,
is Neil vacuuming or something? Okay, let me find the actual link, and then I'll stop talking for a minute.
No, Caleb, I have wood floors.
Oh, I thought I heard a vacuum.
I was typing on the chat, and because I move things around, I just go blank for your sake.
I was just giving you a hard time, Neil.
I know you are.
Okay.
And like I said on the chat, that's a very smooth way to capture other people's contact information. Thank you. Brilliant.
Yes, it is.
Caleb, that was right after the presentation, right? So, I mean, how many people's contact information did you actually capture? Like, is that one-on-one, word of mouth? So like when you're waiting in line, when you're, going around, and I mean, how did that look? Or what did that look like?
I'll just say, I think I asked about, I mean, I wasn't like running around gathering them. It was just kind of as I talked to people. And I think I talked to I got about 6 or 7 emails, and only one guy said no, just because he didn't want it or need it. So, yeah, so pretty high conversion rate. my point is, if you
a natural flow, it just, you're engaging with people. Hey, you know what? By the way, this has been recorded. Would you like a copy of it? Can I grab your email address? Yeah.
And what's your best email? I'll send it to you. Meaning, don't give me your spam email, please. I'm sure you know John Heinrichs, Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got his email. So, I don't know. I'm kind of a big deal. If you don't know who John Heinrichs is, he's like one of the leaders in our church. And I mean, I think our church of various campuses has probably 20,000 plus people, right? So guy has influence and reach. So I'm having trouble finding this this link at the moment, but kind of what are some of your thoughts or questions about this strategy, and how can you what are some ideas of how you can start to actually implement this in your business? And I'll say this real quick. A lot of people have individual elements of this. Like they'll have a website, or they'll have some sort of or they'll be very diligent to publish online, but they don't really connect. They don't connect it, right? Every single person I talk to, every single client, they have elements of it, but it's not connected. And once you connect it, that's where things start to flow, okay? And I tell the story that when I had my junk removal business, we started with word of mouth, and we were buying leads off third-party lead, can't think of the word.
Lead lists.
Thank you. Lead lists. All right. So we were kind of doing guerrilla sales, but we weren't really, we were pulling information, if that makes sense. So we would see that there's jobs available, and we would try and contact them and stuff. Think of it like outbound sales, right? So we would, when you're going after leads, like there's other people going after leads. So, you know, we were doing a few jobs a month, and mostly like word of mouth, and it just wasn't really flowing, right? But once we published a simple ad, and we had a simple landing page that captured their information, and it wasn't just a phone number to call us to book us. It was like, it gave people an opportunity to, as soon as they consumed our message, and they saw that we could help them, that we were trustworthy, we were reliable, we were insured, like that we had what they needed, and they put in their information. Well, now I could follow up with them and close them, right? And they were exclusive leads. And we went from just a couple $1,000 a month sporadically, as we would grab these jobs, to 12,000 a month, like almost instantly, right? And we were buying equipment, we were hiring crews, and it all happened pretty quick. And I went, wow, that actually works. And that's what I did when I had my hot dog cart. I published an ad, I had a little landing page.
I love all your experiences. It reminds us that we're not here just one-hit wonders.
Absolutely. Okay, freezing up on my end.
And close ads, or
You were frozen up, Tim.
what? I froze up.
Yeah, so you just have to back up your couple lines there for us.
So after your the trash pickup or junk calling, you had talked about your other business, and I didn't hear the name of it actually, and then we didn't hear anything about that story.
It was a hot dog cart, and I applied
Hot
this
dog.
strategy. I applied this strategy to my hot dog cart. I had ads, I had a landing page, and I did manual follow-up, and I served thousands and thousands of hot dogs all over the Bay Area, and I helped pay my way through school, right? And so now, as I work with clients and I'm setting up these flywheels, they'll have great websites. Maybe they're running ads, but they don't have a follow-up system, right? You know, Andreas, not to call him out, but he had he's been in business for a couple years. He has a whole bunch of clients, but he didn't have an email follow-up system, right? He had a website, and you could call or book a demo or something like that, but he didn't have a way just to capture people's information who are interested, who potentially might buy, okay? Because 3% of the people are looking for the solution to buy now. 97 who are in your potential market are not ready yet. 97% are not ready yet. So you need that nurture and follow-up sequence, and you need to continue to re-engage with them. Otherwise, you're missing 97% of the opportunities, right?
Yep.
And that's the main power of it. So let me find this. Killing me. I don't have the
Where did you go to get it to print for me yesterday?
that's what I gotta find. Okay, there we go.
Finding it.
I think I found it.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna drop this in the chat, and
Right.
I want to put someone on the hot seat. Who would like to go on the hot seat and kind of work and flush some of this out live? Don't all go at once.
If
I don't
nobody
mind-
else is
I
on,
don't- I
I'm
don't
always
mind the-
here.
I don't mind the hot seat. I don't mind the hot seat.
Yeah, Jason, go for it.
Just been trying to reposition myself in this room for good lighting.
Your lighting's not too bad, Jason.
Yeah, we can see you.
You're
You look good.
Good.
Finally in front of the window.
No, you're good. You're bright and the room is dull. So you're standing right out there.
All right.
And Caleb's frozen again. Oh, no.
I'm not frozen.
Okay. You're just quiet.
I know it's the rare thing. Okay, just a second.
Well, while you're looking around there, Caleb, I have to let you know that this is just an amazing group. I love hanging out here. And you're doing an awesome job. So anyway, I can help you. Let me know.
Thank you, Sandra.
You
I
want a-
agree.
Want a separate testimonial or a little interview video that you can use for testimonial? I'm here.
I'll cut that out and I will do that. Okay. All right. Paste. All right. Click on that. There you go. Thank
There
you.
we go. See
Thank you for your
that?
patience. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you very much. Got it.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right, Jason, why don't you share your screen and we can actually type it in and work on it together. Just get you going.
Looking to see where it went. Oh, that was it. Okay. So I'm in Google Docs. Oh, it's not allowing me. I think I need to download it first.
That's okay. I'll share the screen. We'll just kind of talk through it and then you can fill it out later. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I have. That works.
Okay, there we are. All right. Okay.
Hey, Caleb, maybe you can fill it out while you're going and then send them the filled out one.
You're smart. Okay.
Haha.
Just because it's not very fun, I don't want to go through the competitors right now. 3 things that make you stand out from your competition. Okay, that's just thinking through. Okay, what are 3 skills or attributes that you've developed, Jason, that make you successful?
I put meet you where you are, speaker. So I kind of find out where they are by asking questions, and then I meet them there and then take them on the journey for the conversation. And I learned that very early, 25 years ago. Doctors, they're notorious for not having bedside manner, but they just didn't communicate to someone that they were terminal or that they were, in the last stages of their life. And so they would just say, okay, I'm going to have Jason come and talk to you. And so I learned very quickly, that I had to meet them where they were. If I tell them my name and who I'm with or whatever, it just completely freaked them out. So just start by where they are. The other one is kind of, I'm good at reading body language. Good at reading people, and then just a compassionate listener.
Okay, I think these are good for interpersonal, but thinking in terms of getting your message out there to the world, kind of on a one-to-many stage, what are some skills or attributes that make you suited to bring this message to a bigger audience?
So that's where I felt that the build up to that would have been the three things that make you stand out from your competition. So experience, having that bandwidth of experience with the hospice patients that I've spoken to over the years in the thousands, and the same with families. So I believe that experience is something that's really allows me, the skill level that I have. The other one is whether it's hard because, hospice in general, it's driven by the patient or family. And we talked about this yesterday, but ultimately the choice for a hospice company is from the patient or their family. Unfortunately, in the industry, it's driven by the healthcare practitioner. When it comes down to it, what does that family need? They need good patient care, and they need a hospice that can implement all levels of care as needed to reach the goal of comfort, palliative care, palliation, and allowing that family member to stay in the environment in which they want to live. And so I've aligned myself with a company that has excellent patient care. They supply all of the levels of care. And one of the unique things about us, which I've not experienced in working with other companies, is people actually revoke or come off of their hospice because of poor care to come on to our hospice. And we've actually had some of the industry's compliance defenders, some of the Medicare surveyors retire from the state and come and work for our organization because of the quality of care and our ability to comply with regulations.
So quality of care. Okay. Some good things. So what are your ideal clients' three biggest pain points?
This one I don't know if I had some challenges with it, just because I believe that the pain point is being unaware or not knowing about the services. And these are some of the ones that I kind of wanted to talk through. I believe the other one would be that negative connotation about the word hospice or associating it with death. That's a pain point. It's something that freaks them out when they hear the word. And I guess the third one would be, again, from experience, there's a sense from either the patient themselves or the family that I'm giving up. And so that kind of throwing the towel in, if I were to think of like pain points, I think that those are probably the strongest.
Is
Giving
like
up.
a bunch of red tape and form filling something that
No,
comes up?
giving up that I'm going to die. There's no,
Yeah.
the hope is gone.
Yeah, the hope that death is imminent. There's no, as far as red tape or anything like that, no, that's for the provider to look through. All someone, needs really is a Medicare card, and those benefits are paid for.
Can I ask a quick question from the salespeople, more for my own knowledge? I'm curious about unaware of the service being a pain point, because I don't know if they're experiencing the pain. Like, I like what Scott was saying about, like, they've been going through red tape or they've been dealing with hospitals forever. Like, they're so tired of talking to doctors. Like, why is being, I'm curious if, like, my own definition of pain point is different. So I'm curious if I'm missing something, basically.
Yeah, I agree with you, Leah. I think instead of unaware of the service, that it really actually is exhausted from the red tape and exhausted from the caregiving. Because my son was caregiven at home for about 4 months, where he really had to be looked after. And the family was getting really exhausted, and he wanted to die at home. and she kept him home as long as she could. And so he was 10 days at hospice. But there's also, I think we need the courage to speak with the person that's dying, to also really go over what they want, because they're feeling their loss of dignity, because they have to be looked after. They need to be able to allow to be cared for, and they have the guilt over tiring out their own family, and so they need that little bit of help as well. So
Thank you. Thank you. Leah, great point. I definitely did not hear Scott elaborating on red tape and what he meant by that. And so I absolutely agree with you. This is very exhausting and draining on families. And they say, the numbers say that the most expensive part of healthcare for anyone is in the last 6 months of their lives. And a lot of times it's because of the repeat hospitalization, going in and out, 911 calls,
so that would be your pain point, the cost, the rising cost in the last days. So that would be a real big pain point, because, yeah.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
I guess I didn't know how to insert, what I've heard, almost to nauseum, and it's on the other side of it. It's after the patient comes on to hospice services, the relief of the family and them, physically saying, I wish I'd known about this sooner. And so I just didn't know where that went, in the worksheet, maybe it's the next section. What are your ideal clients' biggest desires? Maybe it's to know about this sooner, to be informed. I don't know, but I just wanted it. That's 25 years in this.
Being informed would be connecting with your doctors and the medical world to know that this is available, because they're the ones you need to train to add it to your community programs, because that's how hospice approached my family, at least.
Yeah, and part of my, and thank you, this is all great discussion. Part of my frustration is that they're the problem. The healthcare community is the problem. They're the ones that are waiting until the 11th hour, not necessarily, as I was discussing with Caleb yesterday, not necessarily because of, care. It's because they get paid. They continue to get paid when they continue to treat, and a lot of these individual. Yeah. I mean, it's like, are there good ones that having more education, will they identify and refer sooner? Yes. A lot of them that are used to the system, they look at patients going to hospice as taking money out of their pocket from treatments.
So you have to find the celebration for them, because then they can bring in they can replace those patients. So you have to find the celebration. How do they win instead of lose?
Right.
I think it's a casting your nets on the other side of the boat type of thing. There are, because I had the privilege of Jason coming to my office, and I fed him some dry M&Ms, and we were talking, and there's a pretzel in the middle, and it tastes good, but it like turns into chalk in your throat. Like, you gotta eat it with something. Anyway, okay. I was
so
trying
obviously
to
your chchurches would be, your spiritual centers would be ones that would be looking for that stuff.
Yeah.
My point is, Jason was talking about how the main thing that has changed over the last 25 years is there's just a ton more competition, right? And everyone is going after the same targets. They're going after the case managers. They're going after the doctors. And unless you're greasing the doctor's palm, it's hard to have that. It's hard to speak to the what's in it for me, or the provider to refer you over hospice A or B or C or D or F. Okay. And so, because you can literally run ads for so cheap, you can get a ton of engagement if through organic social media. I'm like, let's just talk to the families, right? Let's talk to the families, and they can self-refer. They can say, doctor, I want a Preva, right? And so taking this message and publishing to his ideal clients. Now, his ideal client for this flywheel is the patient's family. Okay, how can he get this message to the patient's family and then capture their info, keep them on his mailing list, so when their family who has cancer that starts to turn, or elderly family member inevitably starts to decline and needs that additional help, well, hey, Jason's top of mind, right? So my main point is there's different ideal clients that Jason can go after. He still needs to talk to the healthcare provider and just like to get FaceTime with people who can write a script for his services tomorrow. But he also needs to fill his pipeline with potential people who are looking to engage with this service when the time's right, right? And so you can have multiple flywheels, right? You can have multiple ideal clients. And so what I would encourage everyone to do is, even if you kind of have clarity on the different elements of your business, or you've thought this through before, still identify one ideal client. Maybe you can serve 10 different types of clients. Pick one and then go through the exercise, and it'll help refine your message. It'll help refine how you're going to actually engage with them. It's going to help refine your follow-up and actually what your offer to that individual is. Because the offer to the healthcare provider, it's a little different than the offer to the family of the dying individual or the soon to be, right? Would you say that's correct, Jason?
I would, and I feel that the key element here that's been prevailing for 25 years, but no one's really been acting on it, is if you were calling on a healthcare practitioner, they would say, well, we always give the families choices. It's always up to the families. That's not what they're doing. They're giving the family the hospice that they choose. But what they are saying is, hey, if that family says, I want a Priva, then that's family choice. We have to give them to a Priva. And so my refining in thinking and strategy was, I have to pivot, or I have to stop going after, which I still need to, the healthcare practitioners, but my primary focus needs to be the families. Because if families are choosing a Priva, families are asking for evaluations, the healthcare practitioner has to say, yes, okay.
That's awesome. All right, well, we have time for 2 takeaways, and we're going to invite our new people to leave their takeaway. Leah, what's your takeaway from today?
Ooh, what I love is, because we talked about a lot of this on my show, which is fantastic. And I love the resource. So thank you so much for sharing that, because it really reinforces the points that need to be in there. And I don't know how to describe other takeaways, like literally my brain's percolating with like a lot of ideas of like which way would I go with this, because I feel like I also have 2 groups that I'm wanting to talk to, and so really deciding like who I want to focus on is super helpful to me. So thank you.
Awesome. Jason, and you get the final word. What's your takeaway being here today and going through this exercise?
I feel that, being able to look at the flywheel, and probably something that's not there that you said yourself, Caleb, it really hit home for me. And that's the 3% are ready to buy now. And it's the 97% is that missing opportunity that we have to, capture and continue to publish and nurture and get them to that point, or stay relevant for them until they turn into part of that 3%. That means so much to me. And so figuring out what platform that's going to be and how I'm going to be able to really capture that information and cultivate that 97%, because to your point, once you have them captured, you have to keep them engaged and moving for when they're going to fly off and be in that 3%.
Good. That's good.
Bravo.
Awesome. Beautifully done. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
We have
Caleb.
a workshop call in about an hour, so check your inbox for the invite. Should be on the calendar. And let's continue to work this out. So wherever you are in building your marketing, if you're more advanced and you're actually connecting the wires on your funnels, or if you're more in the conceptual stage like Jason, hop on. We'll break into small groups and we'll help get you to the next step. So appreciate you all.
Awesome. Thank you.
Love this. Thank you guys. Pleasure meeting all of you.
Awesome to meet you all.